Hey YouTube, Common Collector here, and today I am bringing you guys an Evil Eye Eldlich deck profile. Now this is a really cool deck that for some reason I have not brought to the channel yet. It kind of amazes me because I've played so much different variants of Evil Eye decks and you guys seem to really enjoy them. So I figured I would bring you this slightly more competitive version. It's really amazing how well these two engines synergize together. I would say mostly the Evil Eye deck really can benefit very well off of how the Eldlich deck works. So without any further ado, let's just get on into it. I'm going to kind of just sort of fan everything out here onto the table all in one rather than just sort of piling everything up like I usually do. So for the Eldlich engine that we're going to have up top, we have our two copies of Eldlich, the Golden Lord. He just works really great for like his, sort of like his effects to like send cards from your hand and whatnot to the graveyard and whatnot, just for the Evil Eyes to sort of get certain advantage off. So it's really cool. Three copies of the Cursed Eldland. This is the only of the Eldlich spells that I'm playing. You could play like the white or the black stones, but I just didn't really find those necessary. But Eldland is, obviously just works super easy with Eldlich to just, you can just send it to the graveyard with Eldlich's effect. That way your board is open and you can still attack with your Evil Eye monsters. I don't think that there's really too much that I need to explain here for the rest of the Eldlich stuff. So we have the 3 Eldlichers, 3 copies of Conquistador, and 2 copies of the Haquero. So the really amazing thing about these cards, the trap monsters, is the fact that they do count as monsters when they get onto the field, which means that for the Evil Eye engines, you can basically cut out unnecessary stuff like the Katabla Pass and like Evil Eye Reemergence and whatnot. So getting on into the Evil Eye stuff, we have our best monster of the deck, or our best normal summon, I guess I should say. I shouldn't hurt Eldlich's feelings like that. But we have our 3 copies of Surzeal. So what Surzeal does is that when he's normal summoned, you search for any Evil Eye card from the deck. So generally you're going to be searching for the Evil Eye Selene, but there's a few other cards that you might want to search on depending on the situation. I genuinely like to keep a bunch of the other options in the deck, so we'll get to those in a minute. 1 copy of Medusa. This is just a really great comeback card for one of the other cards that we have in the deck. Our 1 copy of Basilius. This is just in case you really need to pitch anything into the graveyard. He's just really nice, and he's a great extender. So the main reason why the trap monsters are so good in here, well, like sort of like a secondary reason, is because it's really hard to get into some of your link monsters with this deck, and so that's why you always had to play the cards like Evil Eye Reemergence, which helps you to get 2 free bodies on the board, or just even 1 free body on board. But with these, you can get 1 free body, and then you can easily go into like your Link 2 or even your Link 3 guy. So then we're playing our 2 copies of Evil Eye of Selene. This is a card that you technically could bump down to 1 copy, but overall I just really like playing a strong Evil Eye engine to make sure that it's always going off. And basically with any of the Evil Eye cards, you never worry about drawing into them. So that's like how I was saying with the Surzeal. If you like draw Surzeal and Evil Eye of Selene on your first turn, you can always search for other things like Evil Eye of Gorgonio. And there's also another trap that we'll get to in a minute here, the counter trap, which I really like to search for. So with the Selene and the Gorgonio, Gorgonio counts itself as Evil Eye of Selene while on the field. They are both equipped spells. Basically, Evil Eye of Selene is going to turn whatever monster it's equipped to, generally your Surzeal, basically turns them into Red Eyes Dark Dragoon and makes them impervious to basically anything. So can't be targeted, can't be destroyed by card effects, and also cannot be destroyed by battle, which is just really amazing because that means that you're basically always going to have something on the field. So even if your opponent uses something like Forbidden Droplet on Surzeal, sure, it's going to cut its attack in half, but your and also his effect is going to be negated, but Evil Eye of Selene is what's going to cling him onto the field and make sure that he doesn't get destroyed, which is really cool. Then Evil Eye of Gorgonio is just amazing because if your life points are lower than your opponent's, then this card just equalizes or adds attack to your monster, equal to the difference. So there have been just so many games where I whittle myself down to like 500 life points, and then my Surzeal ends up gaining 7,500 attack points, and then you just swing into something with less attack, and you basically have game right there. And then there's a whole bunch, you know, like, and then you just like get an Eldlich on field and attack with him, and then like you generally have your damage right there. So he's just really, really cool. Like, this card is just so good. Pareidolia helps to search for any Evil Eye monster. Generally, you're going to search for Surzeal. More Evil Eye cards. We have one copy of Evil Eye Repose. You just generally need a few extra Evil Eye names for this deck, so that's why I like playing Repose. This is a really good way to get rid of stuff like Red Eyes Dark Dragoon and other stuff. One copy of Evil Eye Confrontation. So now I would consider these two your flex spots. So I would still just consider playing Evil Eye cards. So just other options is the Evil Eye Remergence, the Evil Eye Awakening, and Evil Eye Defeat. But Awakening, for sure, I would say is probably the worst out of the bunch, because you just want your normal summon with Surzeal. Again, you don't need an extender because you have like your trap monsters, and you still have your one copy of Basilius. But overall, I would say that these are the two that I was considering most. Evil Eye of Defeat mainly, but I thought with Confrontation, it's just nice to sometimes get rid of some of your opponent's back row, and if you need to just dump a card into the graveyard for Selene, or you know, to banish for Selene, or to ditch, pitch one to the graveyard for your Gorgoneo, that just works really, really well. Another great search target for Surzeal is your Evil Eye Retribution. So I generally end up searching for this card if in my opening hand I have like Surzeal and Selene, or even just a Gorgoneo, because Retribution is going to help you to avoid stuff like Evenly Matched or Harpy's Feather Duster, Cosmic Cyclone, all that kind of stuff. A Cosmic Cyclone on Selene or even part of your Eldlich engine can really, really hurt you. Going on into the generic cards, we have 3 copies of Pot of Prosperity. So obviously this deck is not even super budget because we're playing the Eldlich stuff, so Prosperity is really good in here. You can definitely play Pot of Extravagance, but I just really like the Prosperity because this helps you to search for the whatever engine is not really popping off. So, you know, if you end up drawing like Cursed Eldland in your opening hand along with Prosperity, then you can use Prosperity to dig 6 cards deep and hopefully pick up Evil Eye Pareidolia or Surzeal, or a copy of Terraforming, which is going to just get you to your field spell anyways. So for that reason, I really like playing Pot of Prosperity. One copy of Called by the Grave. There's no reason not to play this card, and you always want your searches to go off. 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence, just to make sure that you can kind of break through your opponent's board if they make you go second. Otherwise, this is just a very heavy going first deck, but like Surzeal and Infinite Impermanence really, really help your chances on going second. 2 copies of Ice Dragon's Prison. The ratios here are just a little bit odd, but we have so much disruption to make on our opponent that it just really, really works, just still having that at 2. Then 1 copy of Solemn Judgment. I will always play Judgment in any kind of Evil Eye deck because, again, Evenly Matched can really, really make or break your duels, because if you have Surzeal and your Evil Eye of Selene on the field, and then your opponent uses Evenly Matched, basically you're in like a really tight corner because you can leave Surzeal on the board, but the second that Selene goes away, all of his protection is gone and he's pretty much useless. So there have been times where I've been hit with Evenly Matched and I leave Selene on the board, and then that just ends up fizzing into the graveyard, and it's just like game over after that still. So Solemn Judgment, if you don't see the Retribution, so that's just the main reason why I like that. But Solemn Judgment also obviously works really nice with your Evil Eye of Gorgoneo. So if you pay a whole bunch of life points with your Surzeal's effect, as well as your Cursed Eldland, paying the 800 to search, along with Solemn Judgment, then your Evil Eye Gorgoneo, accompanied by like the Medusa or anything, if this is sitting in your graveyard, is really amazing for certain comebacks. So that's the reason, like, a lot of this stuff is very flexible. I've even seen people who cut out like the Gorgoneo engine along with these guys, and then they just play like more traps, more searchers and stuff like that. So that's a totally reasonable option to go with too. But for the extra deck is not super duper important, but obviously we want to play at least 1 copy of Gorgon, Empress of the Evil Eye. So you can genuinely, like, you could either make this something else if you want to play something else, or you can definitely, like, this is just a really easy target for your Pot of Prosperity. We're basically just playing a whole bunch of Prosperity targets here. We have the 1 copy of Zerziel, 1 copy of IP Masquerena, and then obviously the Nightmare package to accompany that. This works really, really well if you're playing Evil Eye Remergence, because these guys are all fiends, except for IP Masquerena. 1 copy of Boral Sword Dragon, 1 Access Code Talker, 1 Unchained Abomination, Avramax, 1 Underworld Goddess of the Closed World, 1 Constellar Pallades, 1, actually 2 copies of the Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon, because I do not have the rank 11, but if you guys do have the rank 11 Super Dreadnought guy, you guys can totally play that. I just figured playing 2 copies. For locals tonight, I played the 2 copies of him. He never even came up, so overall, that is my deck profile. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you guys need any more clarification, you guys can definitely hit me up in the comments. I know that this isn't a super played out deck that, you know, like not a whole lot of people have played around with Evil Eye Eldlich. I know that Pack did a deck profile about a year ago on this, so at least he understood the synergy that these cards could have. They just worked really, really cool. For instance, if you have stuff like Evil Eye Gorgoneo in hand, and then you do like your Cursed Eldland search, pick up your Eldlich and whatnot, then you can do all sorts of shenanigans to like get your Gorgoneo into the graveyard. Then you can pitch any Evil Eye card with the Gorgoneo. Doesn't have to be banish this card from your graveyard, discard an Evil Eye card, so it does not have to be a spell. So just discard any Evil Eye card, and then you're able to search for anything. So then, for instance, you could then search for your field spell, the Evil Eye Pareidolia, and then Pareidolia is going to help you to search for your Zerziel. So overall, this whole engine works really, really cool together. So hope you guys enjoyed it. This has been my Evil Eye Eldlich deck profile. Thank you guys so much for joining. If you guys are not subscribed yet to the channel, please consider doing so, as well as checking out the Patreon, my Twitch stream, and all kinds of other links will be down in the description below. Thanks you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Peace.